Hey, critters. Got back from Narum, and I was sore as hell for a couple days, but better now. Um, Tried to start a stream this morning, didn't work. I have no internet here at the house anymore. I have to replace it. When I was in Pueblo, my sister called, having problems with the power. Microwave wouldn't work, stuff like that. Well, apparently there's a really big storm came through, and it popped all the GFI outlets in the house. I was really worried because it was going to be hot that week. I didn't want it to be without air conditioning, but thankfully, she popped the GFI outlet and the air conditioner came back on. Microwave came back on. But the internet didn't come back on. I walked her through resetting the battery box and resetting the breakers. She accidentally left one breaker off, so all the food in the fridge is bad. She didn't know. I mean, it was the breaker at the bottom, so she didn't even realize it. I get home. I also failed to reset the battery box. It turns on, beeps continuously with the red light, so obviously the UPS got fried. So I unplugged the router and modem, plug them into the wall. Nothing. I thought the outlet was bad or something, or half bad, but the oven turned on, so I knew there was power. Turns out the UPS sacrificed itself and then failed to do its job. The thunder or lightning or power surge or whatever it is that came through the wires and reset the GFI outlets fried the router and the modem. They're both dead. Another router, I can get a cheap one for now for $40-50, but modem's pretty expensive. So I can't do that right now. I should have a backup one somewhere, but I think this is the backup. Since I have my own modem, I keep two, and I think the first one died, and I already switched to the backup. So I probably have to find a modem. I'm also going to find my power meter and check the power supplies. Maybe I'll get lucky and it fried the power bricks and not the actual device, meaning I might just be able to replace the power bricks. I got to see if there's a warranty on that UPS. It's probably too old. But anyway, that means I can only use my cell phone for streaming. I just made some breakfast, something in the kitchen. And I tried streaming. It won't work. It's just the connection is too slow and too unreliable. It's not even so much the speed, it's the variability. The signal keeps dropping out and it just disconnects the stream. It just won't work. It won't let me do it. So I'm making a video. Narum was good. One of the teams actually flew a 3D printed model for fragile payload, precision fragile payload. That's basically like the ARC challenge that we do for STEM classes every year. They have to build a rocket that will reach a specific altitude, not under, not over, and stay in the air for a specific time, not over, not under. This year it was 300 meters in 60 seconds. One team actually nearly nailed it. They nailed the 60 seconds and they were only off by like 2 meters, so they won. The one crew made a 3D printed model using my phase mode technique with the ribs, and it flew great. No damage to the model. The front half was destroyed, but not because of flight or the ejection charge, but because their shock cord was too short or not connected properly. It snapped. And so the front half of the rocket came down without a parachute. Obviously, that's going to destroy it. You're falling from 950 feet. But otherwise, it held up great. No melting, no nothing. I was thrilled. It was awesome to see that it could be effectively used even in competition rocketry. And they figured out some way of doing it in fusion. I'm not sure how they did that yet. But it looked like it was solid and it held together, so that was cool. Petchy, of course. I showed people some of my tubes that I made, and they liked them. That new style tube I came up with the hourglass and the yin yang, really strong. I was bending that thing 50% all week, no cracks. So I'm going to try to move forward with building a larger scale model using that technique. So projects I have planned are to, and also the Tylenol is still working for the eyes. My eyes have not bugged me since I started taking the Tylenol every day. Thank God. For the first 2 weeks, I was terrified that it was going to come back and I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. But nope, we're good so far. I want to build a full-scale rocket using that tube technique. See how heavy it comes out. I also think because a lot of it's double wall on the inside and the outside that I might be able to get away with a 0.3 millimeter extrusion and still be strong enough, which would lower the mass 25%. So instead of a kilogram per meter, it'd be 750 grams per meter, which would be a lot more competitive with cardboard and fiberglass, while being similarly strong and a lot cheaper. Right now, you're looking at $10 for a 1 meter tube, which is still quite a bit cheaper than buying a heavy-duty cardboard tube, which is about $15. But I'd like to get that cheaper still. I'd like to get down to, if I can, 30-40% of what a paper tube costs. Just for economic reasons. One of the projects I'm going to work on is if you know a vendor who is willing to sponsor it, I need to convert a CR10 style printer into a 1+ meter tall printer. So I need to get myself some 1.5 meter 2040 rails and lead screws. 2 of each. Ideally pre-threaded, so you just bolt them in. And then I'm going to convert one of my 334 printers into a 33 1200 printer, so that I can print a single piece 1 meter long tube and not have the couplers joining in between them, because the couplers are going to add quite a bit of mass. They're probably going to add 100 grams per section or so. And you can't really make the couplers super lightweight, or you'll have super strong tubes and super weak joints. I also got another idea from someone at the field. One of the problems I have is I had to buy a heavy-duty folding chair because obviously I'm too heavy for regular folding chairs. The chair's too short, so it really hurts to sit on it for too long and to get up. You sometimes see it when I'm in the room. The chair I use in there. And I'm a big, tall guy. I'm 6'4" tall, and the chair is just too short. My legs, instead of being like this, they're like this, and it's very painful. And I was like, I can't add extensions to the legs, and I can't find a taller chair because extensions would be at an angle, and I don't care how heavy duty you print that. You sit a 450-pound person on top of that, they're going to break them. And he gave me an idea I should have thought of myself. It's a standard metal folding chair, but it has those little tiny vinyl pillow cushions on the back and the seat. Well, I already know I can stand on one of my 3D prints, so it's just a matter of it being vertical, right? So, take the cushion off, print a riser, affix that to the seat, put the cushion back on. So now my butt will be 3 or 4 inches higher up. Same thing as a taller chair. And I should still be able to fold the chair, which would be fantastic. So that's a project I'm going to work on. And I have to design a model to go around this tube that I came up with. So I want to design some equally heavy-duty fins to go along with it. I have some ideas for how to do the same hourglass shape in the fins. So I have structurally rigid, hardcore fins. And I also have an idea to have the ribs on the fin be split down the middle instead of on one side. So if you have a shaped fin like this, instead of having a rib come in from the side here, instead have the cut line. It's going to make it heavier, but that's okay. It's a heavy-duty rocket. It's not made to be super lightweight. Have a line go through the middle of the fin and then spread out from the middle to create ribs on both sides. This way, the outside surface of the fin is smooth. I know high-power models will prefer that. I would still spread into my little hourglass shape, since that eliminates the cracking where sometimes a rib will separate from the wall because it's a point fusion instead of a line fusion. So I got lots of neat ideas for how to do that. I also got, I think, a few people or connections to a few people who will be able to start doing testing for me. So what I'm going to do is if I can find somebody who'll do testing for me, fly, one model every, say 2 months. So 5 or 6 models a year. I'll give them my entire set. So they get the whole set of models for free in exchange for being a prolific tester, somebody who will actually test in a reasonable amount of time for me. Because I learned a tremendous amount from the feedback from that one person who tested the rocket for me. So it's really important that I not be the test flyer. It needs to be someone else because they're going to encounter problems, issues, and solutions that I never would. It's like trying to proofread your own work. It just doesn't work. That's basically it. That's what I got going for now. I'm going to work on that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a stream next week. It depends on if I can get this modem either repaired or replaced. I'm going to test the power supply. I'm going to find it today. I'm going to look for my multimeter so I can see if it's just the power supply that's dead. Because they use a little power brick. It's possible the brick absorbed the surge, and that maybe that surge didn't make it through the AC-DC converter, so the actual devices might be okay. What else? That's pretty much it. I lost 6 inches on my waist, so I'm losing weight. I can't measure it yet because the scale doesn't go that high, but I went from 77 inches to 71 inches. So I ordered a longer tape because we had to use 2 tapes together to measure my waist. So I ordered a longer tape, I think 90 inches, and so I can measure myself. And I'll just keep a daily log of what my waist is, or a weekly log. Daily doesn't make sense. But even if I'm not accurate in measuring, you'll start to notice a trend one way or the other if there's any change. If you lose 10 inches off your waist, it doesn't matter how inaccurate you measure it, you're going to see a difference on the tape at some point. So that's a way for me to check my progress. The increasing the amount of fiber I'm eating is working. For the first time, this is hard to explain to people. First of all, I've never starved. Ever. Okay? I have never been truly hungry. I mean hungry like people who are impoverished and can't eat properly. I've never been that. But I also, I have been hungry. The problem is I'm always hungry. Doesn't matter what I eat, doesn't matter how much I eat, doesn't matter how full I am, I'm always hungry. I wake up hungry, I go throughout the day hungry, I go to sleep hungry. Not like starving, you're malnourished hungry, obviously. I'm not malnourished. But the hunger just never goes away. And ever since she started pushing me toward this high fiber diet, I'm not hungry. I was on the field at Narum, and it was, I brought all my food with me because I couldn't afford to eat out. So it was tuna fish, cereal, and Chef Boyardee every day. One night, my buddy treated me. We went out and got Chinese. It was pretty good. But it was fine. The food was fine. I had no problems with it. I brought silverware and spoon and bowl, and I used the microwave, and it was fine. I got that yellowfin tuna. Oh, God, that stuff is so good. I'm probably going to get mercury poisoning at some point because I'm eating so much of that tuna. But, I would wake up, I'd have my bowl of cereal, my mini wheats, because they got pretty decent fiber. This worked so well that as soon as I got home, I bought 5 more boxes while they still had that $1 coupon. Cereal was expensive. God damn. But it was midday on the field. We were about 11 o'clock, and the food vendors were there, the food trucks. And I see people coming back with, pulled pork sandwiches and pizzas and stuff like that. And obviously, I can't get anything because I don't have the money. And I looked at it, and I realized I'm not hungry. Like, normally I'd be hungry at that point. And I realized not only was I not hungry, but I didn't crave it. And I just talked to her yesterday and said, that's the fiber. The fiber satisfies and extends the energy release and reduces the hunger. And I was like, even if it does nothing else, reducing the hunger cravings is worth it alone to switch to a higher fiber diet. So I'm hooked now. Oh, that's the other 3D printing project I want to work on. I want to make a walking stick. I found out that I don't get out of breath when I walk. I hurt when I walk. I stop from pain before I stop from being out of breath. And that's my limiting factor, because my back just destroys me. It turns out it's because um, I'm so heavy and obviously so top heavy that I'm unbalanced. I'm a fall risk. I haven't hurt myself yet, but obviously I fear falling because I know how heavy I am. And that fear combined with my weight causes those muscles to tighten up and then they don't let go. They sit there and they hold and they hold and they hold and they hold. Try holding your hand like this and try squeezing a non-existent ball. Just try holding that. After a minute or two, your hand's going to start to hurt because you're straining those muscles. Well, that's what's happening to my back. Those muscles can never relax until I sit down, or here's the weird part. I don't even have to sit down half the time. Just touching a wall. I don't even have to lean on it. Just take my hand and put it on a wall, and all the stress goes away. Still hurts a little bit, but there's a definite relief. And we figured out, and I figured out, that that's because I'm now 3 points, 2 feet and a hand touching the wall. And because I'm more stable, those muscles don't have to work so hard to hold me up. They can relax a little. So I'm thinking if I print out a big chunky walking stick, like one of those rain sticks, I'll make a project and I'll print it. And just enough that when I'm walking, I can stop for a second and lean on the stick to take some of the strain off of my back. I'm hoping that'll get me to the point where I can walk until I'm out of breath. Figure out what my limit is, and then turn it into like an engineering project. I'll start making notes every day. How far did I walk? How far did I walk? How far did I walk? When I find my limit, back off a little bit and stay at that every single day. And then after a couple weeks, try increasing it. See if my body got used to it. And because if I just eat less food, it doesn't work because your body just slows down. Your body fights you. Your body says, oh, you're getting less energy? Oh, you're doing less today. Sleep longer, move slower. That's exactly what happens. And so I have to figure out a way to force myself to exert the same amount of energy while reducing the calories. So that now the body has no choice. I'm expending the energy, and now it has to say, okay, we need to access our fat reserves and start utilizing that source of energy. And if I just slow down when I eat less, then that doesn't happen. But I'm kind of excited because, for the first time in 8 months, I can sleep regularly because my eyes aren't hurting anymore. And the fiber is dealing with the hunger cravings. And not only will that mean I eat less, but it'll also mean I save money because I'm eating less. So I'm kind of hopeful that I can actually do something right for once. And now I also have 3 interesting 3D printing projects to work on over the next couple months. So we're going to work on the airframe. We're going to work on the high-power airframe. We're going to work on the walking stick. And we're going to work on the seat riser for the folding seat. I also cut my hair. Of course, every time I cut my hair, it goes and does whatever the hell it wants for a few weeks. That's it. I will see you guys later. I will, if I have a modem and router by next week, I'll be live streaming again next week. Otherwise, I will make another video. I gave up making a live stream. It just didn't work. So I'm recording this video and however long it takes for it to upload it. I will see you guys later.